It's longer time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories, and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?
Greetings, bonjour, what is happening? Good evening. Welcome to Lager Time. My name is Paul Cree. Lager Time is my regular podcast where I share bits of work that I'm working on. Be they poems, stories, thoughts, or music. And tonight is music. So tonight is a special one. I'm tangled up. I'm not on my regular mic. I'm not in the Lager booth. I am in Lager HQ down there at the bottom of the garden in South East London. But it's Friday evening. It's gone 9 o'clock. I just cracked a beer. So tonight is maybe the saddest launch party for an EP ever. Well, it's not sad. It's me. More 64s of Boredom is now out. That's me taking a swig of beer. I have a little bit to tell you about it. So it's on Bandcamp initially. I've submitted it for streaming, so all the regular Spotify's and Apples, but that can take a week or so, and that's out of my hands. So it's gone. It's been submitted. So hopefully that'll be on the main streamers. But at the moment, you can buy it on Bandcamp, which is I can't remember what my link is. Paul Cree. Search Paul Cree on Bandcamp. More 64s of Boredom. So, what I wanted to do today was celebrate the launch and maybe do a little bit of rapping. So, it's been very bittersweet. I'm very pleased it's out. However, this week has been a bit of a nightmare. On Monday, well, in fact, let's dial back a little bit. So about 6 weeks ago, the Dropbox I have, the paid Dropbox subscription that I have that backs up my laptop stopped syncing. And it was saying there's not enough space on my computer hard drive because it dual stores, right? I'd maxed out the data, not the data, the space. And I've been aware of this for a while. All my Lager Time stuff gets recorded to an external drive now and various other projects, but for some reason I was still doing a lot of stuff on the laptop. So anyway, it stopped syncing, and I also had a second Dropbox account for a work project for another organisation. So basically I had to clear a load of files and reorganize it, and in that reorganization I deleted a humongous file over 14 gigabytes thinking that it was backed up, and it wasn't. So I've lost 6 weeks of stuff, documents, scripts, all sorts of things. Anything I've done in that last 6 weeks is gone. And I frantically tried to recover the data. I got some program that I had to pay for. I had to buy a brand new humongous hard disk, and it took hours to recover it. Some of it I got back, but it's in a mess. There's no organization to it. It takes ages to search for a file. So in terms of more 64s of Boredom, what that means is all the project files that I've done in the last 6 weeks are gone. And it's really, I've done a lot of like mixing, little editing, little tweaks, various different takes on the vocals. Fortunately, what I did have was the most recent mixes. I had them bounced out as MP3s on a separate file, because when you're doing music, making it, producing it, you got to continuously bounce it out to see what it sounds like on other devices. So I try my phone, I put it on my headphones, I go walk the dogs, I've got a little tinny speaker. What does it sound like? What does it sound like? And I got it to a point where I'm like, okay, I think I'm almost done here. But then I went and deleted that file, which I can't get back. So what that means is I've had to use MP3s, and this is probably a little bit boring for those people who don't deal with music in this degree. They're a compressed file format, so it's not the best. So I've had to import them back in and bounce them out as WAVs in order to get it distributed. And it's like, I really tried to step my game up with this EP in terms of the production. It's not amazing. It's better than anything I've done previously. But now the MP3s, the files aren't the best ones. Now I could have gone back and remade it, tried to remake everything I did, but I didn't have the heart. I do this for fun. I do this for me. No one else. I don't think anyone probably cares anyway, which is fine, which is totally understandable. Hopefully some people will listen to it, and maybe they won't know the difference, but it was really disheartening. And it was kind of typical. And when I was listening back to the tracks today, before I uploaded it, there's a lot of prescient lyrics in there, which point to this sort of behaviour. But anyway, long and short, I was like, you know what? It sounds alright. I'm fairly happy with it. I think I've done as much as I can, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Just think, what can I do more than what I'm doing? This EP, the music thing, I just do it for fun, like Lager Time. It's important to me, but in the great big scheme of things, it's not that important, But there you go. So that's the story. And what I wanted to do tonight was do what I did previously with all of the tracks since December. Was I thought wicked, I'll drop in the instrumentals and then I'll rap over the top of them. But now I don't have those instrumentals. I've got older versions of them. They ain't the same. So what if you listen to the EP, the thing I'm rapping on, I don't have those now. They're gone. So what I'm going to do is going to be a bit whack. Or maybe not. But I'm going to play each track. I've got it lined up here. And I'm going to talk about it a bit, maybe. And rap it until I get bored. Now, I hate rappers when they perform live and they rap over tracks with their vocals still on it. Drives me around the bend. I made a point on this EP. Each track has a 64 bar verse. I did every track in one take. With overdubs afterwards. But the main bulk of the verse was rapped in one go. And that's why I kept in a lot of the breaths so you can hear me doing it. That's the whole point. But now, I basically maybe we'll play a bit of the track or whatever, and you'll see. So here we go. I'm going to introduce the track. The first one is called Gobshy. So Gobshy. It's a little bit of a play on words. So this is one of the oldest tracks. If you go on my YouTube, you'll see a video on there from about 3 or 4 years ago called Gobshite 64. It's got a different beat on it, but I always wanted to bring this track back and do it properly. I didn't like the music for it, and plus it had a sample that I ripped from an episode of Father Ted, where Father Jack goes, "How did that gobshite get in the telly?" I thought, I don't want to get myself in any trouble, so I re-recorded it and I did myself doing it, but in a Scottish accent, a bad Scottish accent. As a little nod to my heritage, and also because it just makes me laugh. I like the term gobshite, and it's a nod to my heritage. But also by putting gobshy instead of gobshite, the swear word, I'm able to get around swearing on YouTube or whatever. And then also, it's a little play of words. I am shy. I'm also gobby, but I'm also shy. So there you go. Right, here we go. Right, let's line this up here. Oh, here we go. Gob shy.
1, 2.
That's me.
Yeah, we gob shake.
Told you. Let's have it right, I've been around for time.
Sitting on the naughty desk writing 1,000 lines. That's why you don't know my face, I was out of sight. But that's about to change like a change of mind. I used to need people to make and mix beats. Used to need people to film and take pics. Never tried it because I thought I'd be shit. I could write and rap bars and that was about it. But I learned a couple tricks and shoved them up my sleeve. Might not be a wizard with it, salavge. I'd rather have a crack. Even if it's crap, held back so much my lungs started to freeze. Leave a geezer swimming in a suit full of resentment. You'll find a 40 years old swigging on a super tennis, telling younger fellas back in the day he was a sheller. Could have made it rain but lacked an umbrella. Not quite there, but mate, I've gone close. Got a few grey hairs and a bunch of old flows. Miles on the clock, blisters on toes, but a barrel load of ammo I'm ready to unload.
Like now.
Took my time, I know I'm so slow.
That's
Slow
very
to
true.
roll, like sloths on the road, but it's tortoise in the hair. And yeah, my shell is solid. 20 years of knowledge, still loads I don't know.
Hold tight, my day
O's. Talking DTP, Mickey T, K&D. The shed, the red, do know those 6x9s. Working 9 to 5 by night, refining flows. Backseat of the car, we spat bars, laughed hard, burnt holes in clothes and soap bar. Made tapes, made mistakes, sank a bunch of jars. Ran events with beat bass, the party with vast bars. Left home, got lost on my own. Roamed around like a lone dog, looking for a bone. Changed jobs and addresses like socks on toes. And when I got some dough, I had to wash my clothes. And coins in the machine, these 100-degree dreams. When I shrunk, so I pumped more pounds into these schemes. Scratch card fiends with flash card dreams, but the cash card means no credit for car keys. Read a few books, learned a few things, like people ain't always as nice as they seem. Or people can be sweet when they come across mean, or they can be thick as shit, even with a degree.
Very true.
Used to think they were smarter than me, cause they lacked an accent and pronounced all their T's. Dress sense neutral, rated PG, never punched in the face or robbed when they were teens. But they seem entitled to skip cues, like they never had to pay their dues. And they insist you listen to their views, and they want an arts grant just to chill in Peru. Time don't care about your talent or your gift or your grift and your self-esteem. And time says deliver the goods to take time to get good before you make those demands on me. So do one you plumb, disappear lively, and grab a couple books from the library. Develop your craft, do it nightly. Practice hard, but do it quietly. Been on the mic since the end of the 90s. This here runs deep in my psyche. A whole crate of notebooks if you want to try me. I'm just getting started like kids in primary.
Wrong word. There you go, gob shy. I told you. Some prescient lyrics in there. I can't remember them now, but that was written about 4 years ago, and there's some bits in there that are very relevant to now. So there's a line in it. I can write and rap bars, and that was about it, which is true. So this EP, Lager Time, all this stuff that I do it because I can, and for a long time I wasn't able to. Sometimes I question myself, why am I doing all this stuff? Especially like today when I lost all this thing and lost all those files. And this EP is just for me, really. Lager Time is just for me. You know, it's great that if other people enjoy it, but you know, I'm not being paid to do it. I just do it for fun, and I feel compelled because I make stuff, I write things, and sharing it is nice sometimes. Yeah, and then like leave a geezer swimming in a suit full of resentment. You find it 40 years old swigging on a super tennis. Well, I'm 42. I was almost 40 when I wrote that. And I'm like, I've already been that guy, I think. Even though I've been able to do things, I've made shows and had books and stuff, you know, I was still very much at times have been like, oh, if only, and there's nothing worse than that guy. But anyway, here it is. Okay, this is actually quite fun. I was thinking this is going to be a bit naff, me doing essentially commentary on my own songs. But look, I do this on my own. I've made this EP on my own. I do Lager Time on my own. I'm here on my own. My wife's watching some Korean drama upstairs. Anyway, all right. So let's go to track number 2. I think this is right. So this is V in the Rear View. Let me just get this right first. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Balls. So this track is the newest one out of all of them. This track. Sorry, I'll have to like move the tracks around. This one was wrote. So basically, I had my hiatus, right, where I wasn't doing anything for a while. No, that is the wrong one. A flip. I've done this in the wrong order. See, look, this is my own launch, and I've messed it up already. Nope, not that one. Right, that's okay. I got it. Yeah, so I didn't do anything creative of my own projects, my own little things for a year. It was really hard. I had my reasons. But you imagine, I like doing this. I've been doing this since I was 17, writing rap lyrics in whatever form. And I've never really stopped until that time. However, I did take a sneaky little... I broke the ceasefire. So my wife and I just moved back here to London. It was a really stressful move. And I'm down at the bottom of the garden. So I got my gear set up. And I think I was listening to a track that I really like by the rapper Jean Grey, New York rapper. She's really cool, and the track is called Kill Shot. I really like the beat on that track. It's a great track. And sometimes, occasionally, when I hear a track, I just get the urge to write some bars. And I was on my own. I'd set my gear up. It took me ages. It took me hours. We'd had a stressful move. I'm like, right, I'm going in. So rapping is always what I return to. It's what I started doing, and I've gone on to do poems and plays and theatre and short stories. But rap is always what I return to. And I've returned to it in hard times, in random times, like last week after Millwall got kicked out of the playoffs. At least they went out legitimately, eh? But anyway, so yeah, I wrote, this is the newest one, and I really liked it. And so I tried to sort of recreate a version of the instrumental, and of course it, like, you know, like the story about Iron Brew, apparently they were trying to make Coca-Cola. It just turned out different. So this is V in the Rear View. Here we go. So this probably tells the story about...
I'm from a satellite town just south of London's orbit, where planes unload cargoes of disappointed tourists. Green is a scene when I would walk it, one into the other with nothing but my Walkman. Years ago I left, flipped the V in the rear view, returned twice, tail between my legs with a tear or two. Enough addresses, mate, I've had a few, last count 22. Sounding like I bragged from a lad up in Magaluf back in 02. I wanted that too, but I lacked the follow through. And trying to chat up chicks falling flat, even with the booze. What to do? Retreated to my hobby, which was rapping in my room. Sticking on a beat, other rap, repeat with no idea what to do. But I did it anyway, I loved it, mate. What else is there to do? Another bored kid skint in the suburbs, excited by the words that connected in a rap verse. It was magic when a flow formed, even better when it expressed my inner thoughts. Opinions that would knock the food off my fork. I sat around the table with a mouth full of scorn, cause I couldn't get the words out when I would talk. Numb in my cheeks, fury in my thought. School said I needed speech therapy. Well, balls to all of that, I said expressively. And let me live in peace with my shoddy speech. Made friends with a pen and then unleashed Depending who you asked, I was different class. Lower middle, white collar par, blue collar pass. Posh for my mates who grew up on estates, or towny for the kids who like their music with guitars. Sat on the seesaw on my skinny ass, no weight in my face, and when I left, I fell fast. Stuck in a bedsit, living off a credit card. Stacking shells, thinking, well, I must have played a part. School was a laugh, and college was too, but I was staring at my shoes when they gave me the boot. What to do? Retreated to my hobby, which was rapping in my room. In between shifts, this small town kid now in the city, skint on the coast, trying to make dough, and lacking any wheat where I could barely make toast. And so it goes, and so it went on and Ariston. In and out of jobs and gaffs until I phoned mum and dad and said, please can I come back to my bedroom where I started writing raps. But now I had a shoebox stacked and packed full of bars, a bonfire under my arse, a cracked Logic copy and a heart pumping on full charge. Made a tape, gave it to some mates, stuck it up on MySpace, got a couple plays. Surprised a few people who knew me back in the day, who maybe doubted I had any kind of talent or brains. And little did they know what had been brewing for years. All of these thoughts, anecdotes, quotes, feelings and ideas, suppressed by fears and paranoia appears. All the snidey little comments wiggled into my ears, but none of it mattered unless I let it infest. I only rap so I could express all the noise in my head. So what was I doing when I was stewing on that, when I could be out there with barrels putting scribbles on maps? So from my arse in my bedroom, I put my arse on the stage, and with my arse on the line, it finally started to play.
V in the rear view.
It was all in my head anyway. That's the truth, mate.
There you go. So yeah, I'm from, if you don't know, I grew up in Hawley in Surrey. Hawley is right on the Surrey-Sussex border. Gatwick Airport was my neighbour. Gatwick was a mile from my house. We could walk there in 20 minutes. And I worked at Gatwick. Everyone in my family worked at Gatwick. And lots of my friends' families all worked at Gatwick. So like, it was a weird... So where we lived, you know, Hawley's a small commuter town. Next door is Crawley, which is a lot bigger. And Crawley was a new town, so it's very sort of 60s. But yeah, Hawley was a bit smaller. But really, because of Gatwick, it's like grey concrete everywhere. If you go one side, and the other side it's like quite green, lots of small little farms. There's that weird mix, grey and green. Grey and green is the scene when I would walk it. But it's small enough that I could go from one side to the other. And because we were Catholic, we went to Catholic schools. And all the Catholic schools were not in our town. So I went to school in Crawley, which is where I spent a lot of my youth, really. Much bigger town. A lot more diverse than Hawley was. So really, I didn't know that many people in Hawley. So when I was there, it's odd. I lived there for 20 years. I just didn't know that many people. But anyway... So I spent a lot of time in my room, or like walking around, listening to my Walkman. I was a newspaper boy and all of that stuff. I just wonder if there's anything more interesting to say in that. Maybe a couple of little humorous things. I do remember saying to my mum and dad when I left, I couldn't wait to get out of there. I left the day, I think it was like the week after I turned 21, and I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back. And then I was back. And then back again. I was like, I got skinned and got in trouble or whatever. So I had to go back. But God bless my parents for putting up with me and encouraging me in all of these pursuits. My dad regularly sends me emails about lager time and is always very encouraging. So Dad, if you're listening, thank you very much. And Mum, of course, I love you both. Alright, so there's V in the rear view. Oh yeah, I mentioned making a tape, like a mixtape. So that was 2006. I'd moved back to Hawley briefly, was in Brighton, and we got evicted from our house. The landlord sold it, and I'd started working in London, and I'd already decided I wanted to move up to London. but I was in between, so I had to go back to Hawley for a bit, and for a couple of years I was working quite closely with a producer, a good mate of mine, Mitt and Dean, and we made quite a lot of music, and then they sort of moved towards making house music, which wasn't, I like house music, but as a fan, but I'm not, in terms of, I was rapping, so they weren't making that, so I had no one really and I couldn't make my own music. So when I moved back to Hawley, it's kind of, everything's falling apart in terms of musically. Everything I had going on before I left, we were running events. I was MCing, so I was doing a lot of garage and drum and bass. We used to run a night in a little club in Hawley. I was MC'd at a few parties in London, in Brighton, and a couple of random places, university things. That had all stopped, so there was nothing apart from me writing rap lyrics. And I kind of came back, I was a little bit deflated. And then I was unpacking stuff, and I got this box full of lyrics that I've amassed over the years, and I had certain tracks, instrumentals that I used to rap to. So it's just like, why don't I just make my own little mixtape? It was so simple. So I saved up some money, bought a laptop, went to Bristol where my brother Will lives. He gave me a crash course in Logic. I got some cracked copy. I had a microphone. I went to Turnkeys on Charing Cross Road. Rest in peace, Turnkeys. I bought an interface, some headphones, pop shield. I knew basically how to use Logic, set up the mic at mum and dad's house, and made myself a mixtape, and then took it to Bristol, and Will mixed it for me. That's called Just a Name Volume 1. I used to go under the name of Case 1 back then. You can hear some of it on my SoundCloud page if you're interested, but some of it I can't put up online because it's all copyrighted or whatever. But there you go. V in the rear view. Paul goes home and becomes a rapper. He finds himself or whatever. Okay, so let's go to the next one, which hopefully is Paul's done this properly. It should. So this one's called Review. We've heard this flipping hell. Oh, do you know what? I just realised I've just created a massive problem for myself by moving these effing tracks around. It's not going to sync with the fucking vocals now. Oh, mate. Flipping hell. This is going to be a nightmare. What? Oh, mate. Sometimes I just don't have the words for my own foolishness. Alright, this is called Review. I've just made myself a load of more work, basically. So again, this is quite old. The lyrics, the first verse is about 2023, and I think I wrote it then, and the next one's about 2024.
2023 could have fooled me. I'm still stuck in 2020. Like in 2020. Thoughts like confetti, scatter very messy, tangle like spaghetti and
heavy on the belly.
So I'm looking for some clarity. Looked in the mirror and all I got was vanity. Then asked my reflection,
why you always getting mad at me?
Walked away tragically,
casually,
casting aspersions on the family. 2020 got brushed under the carpet
like the jazz playing cards we all bought from the market.
Who's asking? The question was taboo, and to get caught asking was embarrassing for you, so what to do? Time to clear the air, but the pump of CO2. Like casinos in Reno, we know they gamble with the truth. But when we're all hitting treble cherries, there's no news. Short term, long cost, like the sun, followed by frost. And too quick to whip off our tops, fire up the barbecue lagers and alco pops.
Now is it me or are my eyes going boss?
To rap the tax man and Grim Reaper
swap their jobs.
Were they the same man?
Moonlight and spray tan.
Either that or they must shop at the same shops.
Running out of loss.
Run out of steam when you're running your jeans. Leaves a big hole that grows at the seams. Meanwhile you're trying to impress the girl of your dreams.
2023
trying to find new means.
New meanings on the meaning of living a life free.
Making ends meet that meet my DDs
that fly at my account like a swarm of killer bees.
2024 pessimism got shown out the door. He ain't welcome anymore. Got dropped at the port, put on a ship all aboard. But optimism ashore. Straight off, I like the colour of his talk. He had a purpose when he walked, gave me a new slant on my thoughts, encore. Bonsoir, bonsoir, bon voyage to the past, here's to us. Here's the wisdom, he's here to join the mission as we're all sitting chilling backseat of the bus. Coach trip towards the coast, we keep it dry like come butter toast. Impulse at the side of the road, hand out, no direction to go. Cuts a forlorn face, stare out the window as I think of the days. Blowing through papes on lager and J's. Monday days, weekend escapades. Made my escape, but I'm off to a flame. Old circus in my brain, get the thought, get the feeling, now I'm gagging for a taste. Fizzy is the state, a violent shake of a 2-litre lemonade. How do I make it go away? Calm down and dissipate. Run, work out or lift weights. Problem is I have to concentrate. It's the battle for an age. Maybe next year I'll finally find a way.
There you go, there's review. 2023, 2024. So you can tell that these tracks are made at different points in time, or the bars were written certainly. There was the beat was written for this a long time ago, but I kind of updated it and
optimism ashore. Straight off, I like the colour of his talk. He had a purpose when he walked, gave me a new slant on my thoughts, encore. Odin, man, fuck's sake.
I forgot about that bit. A little cameo there. That was my dog when I was. I think that must have been around the time we were getting all this drilling done. If you listen regularly to Lager Time, you may or may not remember me talking about it. But a couple of times I had the dogs down with me here in the summer house. It's a flipping nightmare. So one day I foolishly thought, all right, if he's chilled enough, I can record a verse. Obviously it didn't work. Yeah, I guess I was talking a lot about the lockdown stuff in there. I'm still a little bit. There's a lot of unanswered questions about that time for me. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it, and it took me a long time really to get over it. I think I had my head over my shoulder for a long time, mainly because I lost all my work and stuff, but also, yeah, there was a lot of gaslighting going on back then. Yeah, anyway, but I try to embrace optimism, which is, I suppose, is what the next bit is about. All right, so I'm hoping this is correct. I can't believe so by moving these tracks around, right? So I had another little problem there. Flipping hell, this is a nightmare. I envy anyone who's good at doing stuff on their own. Do you know what I mean? Oh no, that shouldn't be happening. Right, there you go. Okay, all right. So this next one is Side of the House. A little bit of a cheesy vibes on this one. Why has everything got to be so difficult? So again, the beat for this was made a long time ago. The bars were written a long time ago. I was in a bit of sometimes I can get a little bit sentimental, sometimes overly sentimental. And it's a little bit like that. I try not to let too much of that creep into my work, but here we go. Side of the House.
From the kid on his ones, down the side of the house, kicking the ball against the wall, sneaking biscuits in his mouth. Head full of fantasies, I'd often act them out. Standing up to dickheads and smacking them in the mouth. Rolling up to pretty girls and asking them out. Walking around with the bop like the talk of the town. Excelling in something I was excited about. Then feeling guilty for thinking it, head rolling back down. An introspective kid, my dad warned against it. When people called me out on it, I get defensive or drawn further in when it would overload my senses. I isolate my family and arms length my friendships. I don't know, it was just a way to cope. I retreat inside my head whenever I got to go. I wasn't antisocial, just at times low. One preferred being on my own. Misunderstood, frustrated and pissed off. I spent my teens in my head, mask fully on, or dicking about with mates, getting lost. Kicked out of college, then bounced from job to job. I realised fast the world owed me nothing. Spent my best years in arrears and debt, struggling. Everything mum and dad said would end up happening from when they got the letters about the lessons I was slacking in. I worked retail, laboured and cleaned offices, collected debts on dreams and broken promises. We swapped God for material pornographers, looking at our lives through rose-tinted binoculars. Despite the mess, I had a curious brain, a hunger for knowledge that I could barely contain. So much I didn't understand, I lacked a frame, something at school I never gained. I plowed through books on politics and philosophy, struggling to grasp the meaning through the verbosity. I felt stupid, like the writers must be mocking me. Cabals of smart asses protecting their monopolies. Paranoid, isolated in debt, insecure and poor. And every job I was inept. I make regular mistakes in putting data into spreadsheets. And get home, bury my face into my bedsheets. I phone mum and dad with water in my eyes. They tell me keep on, keeping on, you'll be alright. I pray to God when at times I couldn't sleep at night. I read my old comics or I sit there and write. Thank goodness for the pen and the pad. Added a spring to my step that was previously flat. It gave me meaning and excitement that I'd never really had. So I threw my weight until it started burning the flab. So here we are on this wonky little path. More twists and trips and a drunk in a bar. Looking back, realizing we come far. But despite the hard times, we always had a laugh. It's out to life's hurdlers rising to every challenge. All the introverts sat there imagining. All the strugglers skint and barely managing. All the non-academics manual handling. All the kids who behaved and studied hard. All the teachers trying to motivate the class. All the parents with the purest of hearts. And all the kids who probably never had a chance. It's back down to the side of the house with the kid trying not to drown, swimming in doubt. Put my hand on his shoulder, straighten his collar out. Tell him not to worry so much, you'll figure it out. Side of the house. I mean, this is the one. Probably could have done a bit more mixing on it. I don't think the vocal was loud enough. Yeah, a little bit sentimental, but I meant it. Lots of things in there, most of which now I'm talking about it, I can't quite remember. All I was thinking about was that bass line, so I think I made most of the instrumental on this a couple of years ago. But yeah, it's all a little bit too loud in the mix, but I remember being really pleased when I made that bass line. A little bit like that bass line on the first track, Gobshy. Now, I'm no expert producer, and sometimes I just, because I don't really know what I'm doing, I've got a basic musical ability, I suppose, so I can jam. And quite often what I do, I'll jam something out, and even if I don't quite know what the notes are, I just use my ears until I can find it. And then, you know, I'll whack it in a synthesizer, find a sound that I like, and then just play with that sound. That bass line there, I don't even know how I got to it. I couldn't even tell you. It was a lot of like messing around and attacks and delays and
various different processes. Same with that first track. I remember that took me about 3 hours just to get there. But yeah, I remember feeling pretty pleased about it. Side of the house, so I did used to kick the ball against the wall on my own quite a lot. So I suppose I've always been a little bit melancholic and overthought things more often than not. But you know, here I am. I was a little worrier as a kid, but I was also, I was a worrier. I think I was an alright kid, but sometimes I was a bit naughty. I was quite naughty at home. But I don't know, maybe I was acting out. I don't fully understand, but there you go. Yeah. So we're going to come to the last track, which I think is my favourite one. Hopefully this works. This is Toy Cars. So again, I made a video of this. It really actually was like promo for the last EP I did, which was Toasting the Machine, which is 2022. I just made this beat on a whim and wrote these bars. I just wanted to film something just so I could plug the EP. But I always liked this beat. We had to remake the keys. I remember we didn't know what I say we because my brother Will helped me out. But yeah, I also thought it was kind of a nice way to finish the EP. So this is Toy Cars. This is probably my favourite out of the tracks. Yeah. There's a few prescient lyrics in this as well, which pretty much sums up how I operate. Toy Cars.
Yep. Take 3. It's hard doing this on your own.
Yes, it is hard doing this on your own. Well done, me. Nail on the head there.
Ever ready, never heavy with readies. Heavy wears the crown, king of the teddies. Scatty like the Scartley, missing from the telly. Fuzzy, funny, no money, living on tip. Credit facilities facilitate a feeling of bliss. Living in the moment, moment to moment. The future's my opponent and I'm ducking his fisty. It's harder than a father with sadistic kicks. I want a simplistic fix, a complicated dish. A cake without the calories, a house without the bricks. Expect 6, consistently roll 2s. Choose life like they want you to without a Scooby-Doo. Who are you, who am I, why lie about your views? Right, left, right, I feel confused, but I keep on marching through the marshes of this stew. Survive like the Irish do, like the fighters do in the field of battle ride, trying to write my point of view. But I feel I don't belong, so I play my little tune. Spitter on the roof, getting loose on the booze. He's got a pen, phone, the boys are blue, he's a danger too. Bounce like a kangaroo, destined for dog food. Bitten off more than I can chew, choking on my own thoughts. Cuss my own fork, belly full of raw pork. Think big like pig bladder to big sport. 1 foot in the grave, mud on my Air Max. No dirt on my name when I declare tax. My returns could fit in a slim bum bag. Fun fact, been a dreamer since fun facts. Looking out the window, scribbling the condensation. A little dick and balls to stifle the conversation. Nothing like a good gawk followed by a big yawn. So bored with school, it spoiled my frustration. It sent my imagination into overdrive. Then overtime, nighttime when I couldn't sleep, I'd lay awake thinking about what people thought of me as if they had time. There were in time I got G's swinging with the sea monkey, swimming in the forest, monkey see monkey do in the zoo with all the wrongers. Graduated of honours, now I'm a scholar. I had tolerance, honest, your honour. Looking in the mirror, one of life's beginners. I wanna be clinical finisher, Shira or Lineker, minus the Twitter platitudes alluding to grandstand. On the bandstand with a set full of filler. The sky DIY cause I'm CDIM, can't do it myself unless you want a shelf bent. I'm hell bent on doing my own heading.
True.
Trying to use the drill on the wrong setting. Where's it heading? Where's it going? I don't know. My 5-year plan became a 5-month plan, became a 5-minute plan about 5 minutes ago, and I've already lost my focus like a team with a phone on the low, trying to figure it out. So hold it down. Should have figured it out by now. Better late than never. I still dream about putting gutters in trees and racing toy cars to the bottom. Simple endeavors. I wanna ride the Volks train on Brighton seafront. Back and forth, talk breeze thicker than tree trunks. Repeat like BBC reruns. Who cares long as there's air up in these lungs? These times, these hive minds are refried. They lack beans and dreams, they got 9-5. Walked outside and high-fived my hindsight. Made peace and walked towards a bright light.
Toy cars. So that is all 5 tracks from more 64s of Boredom. That track there has a lyric that says, I'm hell bent on doing my own heading, trying to use the drill on the wrong setting, which has happened before. And if tonight is anything to go by, hopefully you can understand my frustrations with my own head. I once saw a comedian when I was at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I think it was Roisin Conity, I think. And I remember she had this routine about doing her own heading and her expressing that in the future she hoped technology would advance so much that when you take a holiday, you'd be able to swap brains with someone else, so you can like not be in your own head for like a week. Wishful thinking. But yeah, there you go. That's all 5 tracks. So it's been a bit of a ball ache, a learning curve, lots of mistakes, rough, ready, imperfect. This here recording tonight as not being perfect. I've got to go and replace these tracks now. But if you've got this far, it's 44 minutes. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And if you want to go and buy the album or stream it, well, it's an EP, not an album. So on Bandcamp, so Bandcamp Paul Cree, it will be on all the other streaming services soon. I don't know when. I've submitted it today. So it has to get checked, and then different platforms work quicker than others from what I remember. Spotify is normally quite quick. Apple is really slow for some reason. But there you go, that is it. That is this week's Lager Time. More 64s of Boredom. It's out. At least I can say it's done now. I've been talking regularly every week on this podcast about this bloody EP. And it's done. So at least I did something, as messy as it was. I've got over the finish line. The car is beat up. Its doors hanging off. It took wrong turns, whatever. But here it is, the finished article. It's a mess. Maybe I'll try and do a little bit of promos and silly little videos or whatever. But, you know, as you heard earlier, I don't even have the instrumentals. So I've got to work around that somehow. But anyway, that's it for this week. paulcree.co.uk. You can get the original EP for £2. And I redid my website this week, by the way. And that's it. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the sunshine. Oh yeah, as mentioned in another lyric, too quick to whip off the tops. Fire up the barbecue, lager and alcohol pops. I hope you get to do that this weekend. That is it. Enjoy the championship playoff final tomorrow. I'll be sad that Mill ain't in it, but Middlesbrough, come on, it's their time now, not ours. Peas and taters, Paul.
It's Lager Time. Yay!
Lager Time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?